Isabelle Harrison is a vet in this league, at least by all things considered. And when I tell you she has the sweetest spirit, the sweetest soul, her playing career for me became of note when she was at Tennessee. And she played under the great Pat Summitt. And she will talk about that today. She will also talk about her relationship with the Liberty, a new team that she's been in for one season, her relationship with another vet in this league, Tasha Cloud. And we get into, obviously, the news of the week. What, in fact, will happen with the WNBA as they deal with these CBA negotiations, and also what many believe is a commissioner that doesn't hear them or see them. This episode of Naked Sports, at least for me, is one of my favorites. And it's about how, in fact, women's sports needs to be elevated, amplified. And these athletes are more than just faces. They are people. And they are asking folks to see their humanity and who they are and why they care so much about this sport. Thank y'all for listening to Naked Sports. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What's up, y'all? It's Izzy Harrison from the New York Liberty. I'm here with Cari, and let's get into it.
Hey, let's get into it. Okay, so Izzy, I have a confession. My confessional. I have stalked your Instagram. I have had a crush on you for a long time in the sense of, I just love how you carry yourself. You're always smiling. You're always light or appearing light off the court, right? And then when you're about your business, you're about your business. And I think that it and so many people, we have a lot of mutual friends, but so many people I know respect you. So I was like, I'm very curious about you.
Thank you.
And that was one of the main reasons. I was like, I'm curious about the human that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Do you hear that a lot? Do people tell you they love your smile and how kind you are?
A lot of people do say they love my light. And I've prided myself into just carrying myself like that. And I come from a big family. I'm one of 12. So like,
one of 12 children?
12 children, yeah.
How does that
mom,
happen?
same dad. My mom and dad, they're just doing their thing.
No one has 12 kids anymore.
No one does that anymore. It's very like an old school thing to do. But yeah, that's how I grew up. And again, same mom, same dad, and 7 sisters, 5 brothers. And they're like my built-in best friends. So I just think I get so much of my personality and like my lightness from them, honestly.
Where are you in the 12?
I'm number 10.
Damn.
I'm number 10. Yeah, so I'm on the younger side.
So they just decided they were done at 10?
I guess not. No. They
are almost done.
Yeah. But then obviously I wouldn't have my godson Hughes, my little brother Ian, and then Dory. She's also playing professional basketball right now. So yeah, she's doing her thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm curious. Growing up in a house so at the time, when did you realize you had a lot? How old were you when you realized this is not normal? We got a lot of brothers and sisters.
Yeah. So when you grow up in it, it doesn't feel like anything not normal. I'm assuming everybody just has like really big families. I didn't get to go to people's houses growing up. My dad, they didn't let us do that, when it's like, that makes so much sense now, why they did that. But when I would go to school and people would say they don't have any siblings or they were an only child, I was like, this is crazy.
I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah, like I can't imagine not having like my sisters, like my brothers are like my best. They taught me how to play basketball. So,
really?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I feel like I'm the perfect mix of like my mom, who was a cheerleader. She went to Vanderbilt to be a nurse, and my dad, he played professionally in the NFL for like 10 years. So I really feel like I'm like the perfect blend between the two.
Now, when you grew up, was there ever a time, clearly did you share a room? I hope you did.
Oh yeah, I didn't have my own room until I was in high school. That's sick. As a growing girl, that's actually insane.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What was that like? You know why I tell you this? I'm a little envious. I'm an only child, meaning that I have half brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But I just grew up just with me and my mother. And I'm very much a loner. I kind of do my own thing, and I think that makes people feel a way about me. But it's just like I just been on my own since.
You don't give me only child at
really all. What does only child give? What does only child give?
Very just like, it's all about me. No care for like what's going around at others, or there's like no sharing. Clearly you like helped me out so much today. So yeah, you never gave only child.
Can we tell that story?
Oh Lord.
Can we tell that story, or should we not?
I think we can tell it because
Okay.
it's funny now, but at the time I was stressed.
Okay, so I have been planning this, and I've been stalking her. I've been in her DMs. I'm like, when can we go? Give me your phone number. I want you to come on the show.
Yeah.
And she called me. She's like, I'll be here in 10 minutes. And I'm like, great. 10 minutes.
Yeah. Because I like to be on time.
You were before on time,
Yeah.
Libra.
I like to be
Yeah.
Libra.
Before on
So
time.
I do.
And I like to play the game where I'm like just on time.
Mm-hmm.
And then she called back and she's like, we're gonna have to reschedule. I'm like, why? And she's like, my driver dropped me off at a different location. So you take it from there.
Child. You know, in New York, like I've kind of adopted this mindset of like multitasking.
Sure.
So
You have
since
to.
being here, it's like once basketball's out the way, like early in the day, I have time to do like all my other things. So it was in that moment, like I'm planning a Lupus walk that I have on Saturday, like on another Zoom. We have a CBA call actually happening today too. So kind of like getting that information out to the team and whatnot. I'm just multitasking. So I look up and I'm like, okay, 10 minutes away. That's when I text you. And I'm like, we're not anywhere close to the city. Like,
Yeah.
what's
What is
actually
this?
going on? But I was actually telling someone earlier today, like, I've never been in like Times Square like that. So I'm like, is this a different route? Like, I don't know. I'm trusting the process. I end up being at the Newark airport.
Oh.
in New
And
Jersey.
so she called me and said, I'm going to have to reschedule. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you're not. I've been working on this forever. I love you so much.
Oh, yeah, you got to work.
I was like, no, I'll get you an Uber. Come
Oh,
meet me
my
now.
God.
And then you're like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, bet. I'll see you in a second. Because it's
Yes.
actually even closer.
It was super
was, yeah, it
closer
was-
to than where my apartment was. So I was
Yeah.
like, wow, like I got here in like, what, less than 30?
Less than 30. And I
Yeah.
was so happy. And I was like, okay, great. So it was
Yes.
funny because I have done that as well. I've been on my phone multitasking.
So you know.
It's like, yo,
Yeah.
we're so, and then that's another part of like women who are in the world. Like we're working, we're trying to be there, we're trying to be good friends, good
Mhm,
partners,
mhm.
good wives, good whatever. And you just like, I'm so busy. What is going on? I totally understood and did not judge you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, I was like, no, you're coming. I don't
Thank you.
care.
I had to call Tosh and she was like, we just pivot because we've been practicing that, like pivoting. She's like, we're
What does
just
that
gonna pivot.
mean when you guys have been practicing pivot? First time out, Tasha Cloud, everybody's boo.
Yeah.
But you're
everybody
real.
loves
Everybody's
Tosh.
boo, but
Yeah.
you're a boo.
Yes, I'm the real boo.
You're the real boo. Everybody has a crush on her. Like, we have a crush on her. Something about her, how Tasha Cloud carries herself on and off the court.
Yeah.
Makes people just respect her because I'm
Mhm.
about business.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why, like, that's an attractive thing. But I also
Absolutely.
just respect her just as a professional.
Yeah.
So you called her and said,
She just was like, we just pivot. We're big on to like not letting things just like throw us off completely off
That's
track
right.
and, you know, control the controllables. And
That's
as we
right.
like getting older into our career,
Yeah.
just you can't get riled up about things like this anymore because it happens.
All the
like it's
time.
not life or death.
It's
Like,
not a real thing.
You will be okay.
Yeah. And we're here.
And we're here.
so you told her what happened and she was like, just chill, no big deal.
yeah. And
Oh,
I
I love
sometimes
that.
have to have that role with her too. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's just the best balance,
Oh.
honestly. Yeah.
How'd you guys meet, obviously?
We have like debated telling the story like so many times because you know how the internet can be. Like they can just
I hate
like
the internet.
hate the internet.
I hate
It's a
the
very unserious place.
It's a very serious place and no one cares about actual humanity or who you are.
No, and I love that I love that you said that because like
They
that is
don't.
me and Tasha our core. We talk about this stuff like all the time.
Yeah.
So we really are the perfect partners. But we met during AU, the first season of AU. And it was really my first time like getting to know any of the players. Like before we have like before AU and Unrivaled, there was never really a space for women's basketball like players to compete against each other, whether it was overseas. And it
Yeah.
only happened in the W. And
Yeah.
usually in the W, you only hang out with your teammates. You don't usually go to other people's,
Nope.
you know, houses from other teams. So we just kind of like had that experience to really get to know everyone. Like players I've played against for forever and never really spoke to. Like we're
Wow.
the closest now
Wow.
because of these environments.
wow,
So
wow.
Tosh was one of those people. And when I first met her, I didn't know anything about Tosh when I met her at all. I just knew she was crazy. Like everybody loved the craziness about her, but we just never spoke. So when we first got into AU, I really got to know her as like a person. and as a human. And after that, I was just like, this is like my best friend.
Yeah, she was
my
your best friend.
Best friend. Like,
yeah.
She understood me without me having to say a word. So
wow.
Yeah, when you feel those type of connections, it's like, wow.
There are no words to describe when someone just gets you and you're like, is this our thing? It's just like how we vibe. It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
You can't literally put it into words, but you can try. And then so you were like, oh, okay, we about to be together forever. How'd it go? Not
even that. That's the crazy thing. I just was like, as a person, I really like fuck with her. Sorry, but like she was, I was like, I don't know the rules, but she just as a human is just like amazing. I think anybody that comes into contact with her for like 1 second is like automatically taken in. And she said the same thing about me. So it was kind of crazy that we met at this like capacity and at that time. So no, it definitely started off as friends and then it just kind of grew from there. Yeah. And she was a very new experience for me. So, you know. Yeah.
But it's the human, it's the heart.
It's always all the
human. All that other stuff doesn't matter. I am a believer of that. I really am. I'm going to tell you, when Tasha started posting you and talking about you, and she didn't even know because I don't follow her, but I try to not overstalk everybody. I love the way she talked about you. Yeah. She was like, from the moment I met you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's so special because I believed it. I know sometimes Instagram and internet is not real. Yeah. But I was like, oh, I see that. It's like a warm smile, warm eyes. And then you're like, okay, I feel relaxed. I feel safe. Yeah. I think when anybody dates, myself included, I want to be with someone who makes me feel safe. Absolutely. Like, I don't feel like you're going to betray me. You make me feel safe. And she, to me, the way she spoke about you was like, it's a safe land.
That's literally it. Like how we feel about each other. We never are like awkward or weird with anything. Yeah. Like we can like just take our mask off and be ourselves. Yeah. And like to have that really from like day one, I always say like it was the crazy experience. And that's why I think I just kind of like open my mind to it because I've never felt that before with any person I've ever been with.
Any person.
Nobody.
So how did it feel going public? Were you nervous about it in terms of what the fans, the team, your family would feel? Yeah. Did you have any reservations?
I think my biggest thing was to make sure like me and Tosh were at a place that we could share it and that we felt comfortable with whatever that was going to come along with it. And even though I met Tosh, whatever, at that time it was still like, I still have to get to know you. Like, what is your family like? Like, what are your friends like? And like, I think those things take time. And a lot of people say like, lesbian couples, like they rush so fast. That was like something I like heard about my friends.
Sure. My friends like, y'all move in together right away.
Yeah. Like I don't understand that. Like for anybody, I've never done that in my past. I'm not going to start now. So like, I kind of had to put the brakes on us for a while to like really see how we are as like humans. Like what are we like on the day to day? And I think that was a little bit difficult for Tosh because you know, Tosh is like 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah, and she like gives that, but I just knew like I want to see the longevity of us and the potential of us actually be lived out. So I definitely made sure we took our time. So I was a little bit nervous like when that came out with like my family, really my family, because like I said earlier, they're like,
and first of all, you got to try. You have an entire school system.
Exactly.
Like, she got a whole kindergarten class.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So when were they nervous or how'd you tell your family? Oh wait. Okay. So let's go back. Had you been in a relationship with a woman before?
Never.
Oh, okay.
Never.
And then so you had to tell them that.
I had to tell them that.
Is your family strict, conservative? Were they open?
Yeah, we're all. My dad's a pastor. We grew up in the church. We're Christians, and already saying that and having this situation happen, I just was like, just kind of conflicted with, obviously for obvious reasons. And I just had to believe like God brings me to places of peace because I deserve it. And no matter how it's wrapped up, that's what I'm going to take. So, and I don't believe God would bring me someone like Tosh just for it to be like bad or sinful. Like, I just don't believe that because how I feel and like my real life experiences with her. Yeah. So I just kind of went with that.
You make me cry. Tears. Okay.
Yeah, it was a battle for sure. But I told my parents. And my dad was like, we know. Well, he said he knew.
Oh.
He had a conversation like maybe a couple months before I told him. He was like, you know, I just want to make sure you're happy. He has like a worry list out of all the kids, like who he worries about. So like obviously siblings jump on and off as like time goes. And he said I was always the last one on the list, but I was always on the list. And I was like, why is that? He was like, you always travel and you're always by yourself, and you have Prince, he's my little Yorkie. But I want you to find somebody who like just loves you. And I was like, mind you, like all of my siblings are married, have kids. Like I'm a super auntie at this point. I just never thought it was gonna happen for me. Like I just was like, I'm just gonna be single. And he was like, I just want you to be happy and like loved. Oh, I'm getting emotional talking about this.
I love your dad.
Yeah, it was very like,
he's a great man.
Amazing for him to just support me, because I was really scared, because this changes families and you hear horror stories, and I just didn't want to be a part of that. So the people that I thought were gonna be the worst with it was my family, and they weren't. And the people that I thought were going to be the most supportive were like kind of weird when we came out about it. Just kind of like the community and like the internet, you know, but it's like what's understood doesn't have to be explained. And
what's
like
understood doesn't have to be explained
at all. You don't have to explain it. So just being at peace with that and knowing like what me and Tosh have to end at the end of the day when we come home to each other, like that's all that matters.
Can I say that your dad is amazing?
Yeah. He's great.
So were you afraid to tell them? Like, how did it go? You were like, let me tell you before the internet gets a hold of it?
I think I was just, again, I didn't want to rush it. So I'm like, me and Tasha are figuring things out behind the scenes. And I just didn't feel like I owed that to anybody either, because it's like my process. It's like my heart, my love, my relationship. And I just don't feel like I owe that to anyone to have to explain. So that's something that me and Tasha had to talk to as well, because she's very open. You know, she's like, she puts it all out there, but I'm a little bit more conservative than her. So yeah, I just basically told him like, I'm with Tosh and she makes me happy. And I know it's not, I never thought it would come in this form ever. Like I was like, when I pray for happiness, God, I don't know if you got all the words right, but he got it right, because he gave me someone like her. So yeah, it was, I told my dad, he was like, we know, very supportive about it. Told my mom, she was like, well, she said something funny like, so you guys can just be like really good friends. I was like, Mama, this is past being friends.
Yeah, you're like, we're in a relationship.
Yeah, she's so sweet. So, and she loves Tosh. My whole family loves Tosh.
I don't know if anybody does not.
Yeah, and
I don't know if anybody does not.
Exactly. And I think that made me more comforted, because again, anybody that meets her, it's just like, they love her. Yeah. So like, I just felt like really, really supported. I think you're the first person I told that to.
Oh,
yeah, the first person.
I appreciate that. I hope you feel safe with me. I genuinely, I see people and I see you together, and I saw how she talked about you, and I was like, I was more intrigued about the soul that made her feel this way. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like your spirit made her feel this way. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, and then of course, like I'm not going to go down the list, but just also because you're just so beautiful. So I think that people Tasha has the same thing, but it's in a different way for me anyway. And I was just like, I think people are really intrigued by your beauty. Like, and you don't carry that. You don't lead with that.
Yeah, I really don't.
Why is that?
You know, I had to tell this to Tosh. By the way, I love being in New York. You guys show me so much love, and I love the fans.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times we will meet somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, Tasha Cloud. And they're like, and this is Izzy, she's so beautiful. And it's kind of like, I had a whole season here. Like I had so many like big moments in basketball. Like that is what I want to lead with, because that's my heart. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm grateful for the outside or whatever, but I do want to be known for like what I do. And oftentimes I think people kind of just see me as like arm candy. And it's not just with Tosh. This has been even in the past with my past relationships. Yeah. And it's been like a little frustrating. So when I had those like big moments at Barclays of like the crowd cheering for me after a huge game, like that made my life. Like that was like everything. That's all I've ever wanted.
Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. I think that when you have something happen to you all of the time, like people are astounded by what you look like. But I think your beauty is more than just like physical.
Yeah.
I think it's inner.
It's the inside. And I think that's for everybody.
And I think that's what people are just like, they feel that. You just like, so I get you don't want to be like, I get that.
Yeah.
But I think also it's so rare to feel that when you meet someone.
Yeah.
So that's also a compliment. How do you feel about the season? How do you feel about the Liberty season? Speaking of being in Barclays, the best, and I've said this to Claire, I've interviewed her a few times.
She's
I've been on
great.
panels with her. She's great. She gets it. I've been in environments with her. Very few owners are that accessible. And that's what I think that
makes
sets her apart from everyone else.
Agreed.
I have been in spots and I'm like, oh my God, hey, how are you? And she's chatty and comfortable and in her
Claire's
own
a
skin.
time.
Yeah, she is a time.
Yes, she
so
is.
I think that also helps. So what has it been like for you? First season, how do you feel?
First season, I mean, one, stepping into just the facilities day one, that blew me away because I've never had that in my career, 10-year career now in the W. So obviously the resources helped tremendously. Which is why it was another big reason for me to come to a team like New York. And obviously they won the year prior, but I'm like, I still want to be treated like a great basketball player. I still want to be treated and valued like I know that we all should be treated. Yeah, being with the Liberty was really like a dream come true. I keep saying that, but like it truly is so special to be here in New York, play at Barclays, have the best fans, like ever.
You arguably have the best WNBA organization that there is. Best team in the league.
For sure. No doubt about it. Like there's no arguments there. And I could be biased, but I'm telling you, even playing against New York when I was on other teams, it just felt like such a moment. So I knew I wanted to carry that passion and that care into this season. So whenever I got the opportunity to play this year, like I gave it my all. Like I do every year, but this was just a very different situation for me. And I was really happy that JK took the chance to sign me and be here and prove everybody that I still have it. And because I was dealing with injuries in the past too. So that was kind of frustrating for me. But yeah, being in New York, it's a dream.
So they fire Sandy.
Yeah.
And first of all, I felt like the question that was asked in the
that presser,
I was like, whoa,
it was a little much.
But then I'm all like, they in front of her. That's what I felt like. I was like, have I seen that in other leagues? Maybe I have, and I haven't paid attention to it. But it felt like a lot.
Yeah.
But I understood it was a question that needed to be asked because as a journalist, I understand that.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? How that all played out? Did you think she would lose 1 year after winning it all? Did you think that she would not be your head coach the following year?
Not at all. And I was coached by Sandy my rookie year in Phoenix. So like I seen her be so successful. So I don't know what happened prior to me being in New York and obviously following up from the championship year going to this year. And we definitely fell short of our goal this year, obviously. Yeah. So I don't know what prior history and conversations that happened, but I don't know if it was just like that time, like this is when it's going to happen. So it was unfortunate for Sandy because like I said, great person, great coach, great energy. Yeah. But, I was kind of hearing some comments JK had in his presser, just kind of saying like, we just want the best here. We want people to know how important winning is here. And that's the number one goal. So yeah, it was frustrating. It sucks, but I could see like they want to make sure they continue that winning track and just getting people here that can do that.
Yeah, this is tough ask. Those are tough questions. You gotta ask them. It's so hard. I totally
just think
understand.
After the last game, I don't think that should have been asked.
Yeah, it's like let's settle.
Yeah, and like
let's
respect
settle.
To Sandy as a coach. Like even if those have been conversations, like you don't do it after the last game of the season. And I'm sure it was one of our Liberty like journalists. So to me, that's kind of like, just put some ice on it for right now. I'm sure you're going to ask in the future. So maybe just wait. But I think they could have gave more respect to Sandy just to not do it right then and there.
When I think about what they have asked or things that you've, just throughout your career, even going back to your college career, you've been in these moments where they've taken your coaches, and a lot of especially a lot with women's sports, they highlight the coaches a lot in a lot of ways. I'm glad that that's starting to change. But like when you were at Tennessee, and under the great Pat Summitt, we said that we would talk about her, and yes, exactly. And she obviously is a legend in her own right.
Right.
Now, when you were, I remember one time interviewing Candace Parker, she was like, whenever I would mess up, I could feel Pat staring
Absolutely.
at me.
Absolutely.
She was like, I'm not looking that way because I could feel her. Oh,
You
okay.
could feel those eyes, like those blue eyes on you. Like it was nothing to play with.
Was it a death stare?
It was a death stare from like 1,000 miles away. Like you could feel it. So yeah, Candace was right.
How did she recruit you?
It's funny because Tennessee was always my number one because I'm from Nashville. So
Yeah.
of course, why not play for a great coach and be 2 hours from home, have my family there. But that was at the time I wasn't really getting a lot of notice from like any colleges. So I was like, you know what? Well, let's wind it back. What can you do to get in front of Pat, essentially? And I had like 3 more years of AAU left. So I just made sure I did my best at the biggest like AAU tournaments, like the Boo Williams, Nike Nationals. Those are really things I just had on like my board just to do like my best. And before you know it, like I had offers from everywhere. So honestly, there was a point where I was going to pull Tennessee off the table just because I'm like, I got letters from UConn, North Carolina, like everywhere that I wanted, like really big name schools. But I was like, what's important to me? What's my why? And I said, I want my family to be able to come. My parents don't travel that much because they have other kids to care for. What would be the easiest? Tennessee. What would my coach be like? You will never be able to replicate a coach like Pat Summitt. That's 2. My sister at the time was playing volleyball for Tennessee. So I would have a sister maybe 10 minutes from my dorm room, and I shared a room with her. That was my last roommate before going to college, was my sister. So I was like, it's gonna be like home all over again. So honestly, Tennessee made the most sense. And I was like, you know what? It's just time to just pull the trigger. So I was in my 6th period class and I get a call from my coach, like, Pat Summitt's here at the gym. I was working on like an AP paper at the time and my best friend was next to me. I was like, can you come to the gym with me? She was like, sure. She had no idea Pat was gonna be there. So we're like walking to the gym. I walk in. Mind you, my high school team, we weren't that good by my senior year. My sophomore year, we were in a state championship. Senior year, we were not good. I walk in, the girls are going like 1,000,000 miles per hour. Pat is in the middle, like half court in a chair, just watching everybody run up and down. I've never seen my team play like this ever before.
You're like, what team is this?
Yeah, like, who are you people? Like, y'all are putting on for Pat, and I actually love it.
I get it. I get it.
So we're putting on a show. So we walked to my coach's office, and she's like, will you mind if I go in there with you? And my coach grew up going to like Pat Summitt camps, and she was obviously a huge hooper at the time. So I was like, yeah. So we all go into the office, and Pat kind of just like sits down and was like, Izzy, just tell me you're coming to Tennessee. I was like, I'm coming to Tennessee. I'm coming to Tennessee. Like,
gangster.
Yeah, very.
This gangster. Like, are you coming? You coming to Tennessee, right?
That is how Pat is. Like, she just talks her talk and very confident in it. And I had so many lessons like that going through Tennessee. But yeah, at that time, she was just like, let me know what you want to do. Like, we would love to have you. And I remember asking her, like, what do I tell the other coaches? She was like, they'll understand. Yeah. They'll understand. I'll let you know if you need to say anything on these calls. You're going to be there. That's fine. But, you know, just let everybody know you're coming to UT. And that was the start of my career. And I'm so happy I made that choice.
When you get there and she's your coach, does it feel intimate? Does it feel connected? Does it feel like, let me just put you through to haze the hell out of you until you figure it out?
The Pat that I got during recruitment was not the same Pat that I got when I got to Tennessee. Let me tell you, like.
Of course.
And that's just a common thing that I want athletes to know. Like, the coach that you get during recruitment, they're going to be, and I won't say fake because Pat isn't fake. Like, she's very real with you, but she's still a Southern woman that I grew up around. So they're going to tell you all the things that they have and they love you. But once you get there, it's time to get in line and get with the program. And nobody was above the program at Tennessee. Not Candace, nobody. Like, it did not matter. And that's why I respect Pat like that. And because sometimes I feel like coaches have a hard time reeling in big star players and they don't know how much that messes with the dynamic. But when you keep everybody accountable across the board, you get so much out of players and you know what to expect out of them every day. When you don't hold players to the same accountability level, it creates like a power dynamic and it just makes it weird. So I've always respected Pat for that. So yeah, I got there. She whipped us into shape. I didn't play much my freshman year. I was playing behind like 4 All-Americans. Like, it was never going to happen. But I think that taught me, like, going into the W, actually, my first year, I didn't play that much either. I was with Phoenix, with Sandy. We had BG, Diana. We had Candace Dupree, Penny. It just was not happening.
Let me chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah. Like, my first year, obviously, you're a freshman in college. You know, like, I want to play every minute. And then, like, it kind of humbles you. So going into the W, I was like, I've been here before. I'm going to let them kind of do their thing, and I'll show up and do my job when I'm ready.
I explain this to people who don't really understand the W. There are so few spots. So for you to be able to consistently show up, even if you don't get playing time, they value you. And so for you to be able to, and then also some stuff is unfair. I get it. But there is this thing of, like, I've been in the W for however many years that I've been able to stay consistent in spite of injuries, in spite of whatever is happening. To me, that speaks to the talent level. And also how you move, because a lot of it's political.
It's very political.
How do you deal with the political aspect of the WNBA?
I think I'm numb to it at this point. I've had politics in my basketball journey since high school, which is so weird because I'm like, I'm only here to hoop. That's all I want to do. But I wish I would have paid more attention to the politics, because they actually make huge, huge changes and decisions in your journey with basketball. So I wish I would have paid more attention to that. But I think just kind of dealing with the politics, I just let my game show for itself. And there's even times where that's not enough. And I hate that. So I try to do the dirty work. I do the things that people don't necessarily want to do or add to their game, whether that's defending or rebounding or just playing gritty. Like, those are my things that try to outweigh the politics. But there's honestly times where I just ignore it. I love proving people wrong. I love hearing something about me and being able to do the exact opposite, you know? So there's a lot of haters in this game.
Ooh,
and
so many.
Yeah. And you can just either let it take you or just thrive on it. So I found a good way of just thriving.
A good balance of how to deal with it.
Yeah.
I was where was this week? I don't know, maybe Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember. But when I watched Nafisa Collier's exit interview, by way of background, I've had her on the pod. Yes, TTS. I had her on the pod to talk about Unrivaled in the beginning of the year. And I also had her on after she lost to the Liberty. And it was the Unrivaled of it all, losing to Liberty, her relationship with Stewie, Olympics. It was just a lot of things that were happening. We talked about all of those things. And we've had a lot of interaction. I've always thought, like, I respect how she carries herself. She's very professional on and off the court. She just is. And so it requires you to step up and be a little more professional. You have the same. And she was talking about officiating, 2 years ago, like complaining about it, how unfortunate it is. As a player in the W, I will say this. I know people who work in the league office who say their argument will be these referees are doing the best that they can, and they have a 90% accuracy rating. But when they, and that's just the human eye. So I don't know if you can actually test that or not. I don't know how well that is
where are
tested.
the stats?
I don't know where. I don't know. Like somebody, exactly. Somebody will tell me. That's their response to the media. But I look at stuff and I'm like, this is crazy. My eye test, I see you. Like Cardi B's like, I see what's going on here. So I think it's uncomfortable when I see things that are just unfair. But I wonder if how did you feel? And I saw that you said, I stand with Fee. I was very happy that you said that. Because so did I. I mean, I'm just keeping it about that.
Because that's not easy to come out and say what she said. And like, not only say it, but like, I got receipts.
And I'm reading from a prepared statement.
Oh, my girl was prepared.
I'm giving you quotes. So I dare you to say I didn't say that. I dare you to say I didn't say that. Because the quote of it all, like for me as a journalist, I'm like, the quote of it all says, I dare you to say, to your point, I didn't say that. So I was so proud of her in that moment, because it always takes one to change the game. And it reminded me just of the history of sports in general. There's always one player, whether it's Babe Ruth, whether it's Jackie Robinson, whether it's, I'm thinking of people who really, Muhammad Ali. And I'm not likening her to those like in terms of greatness, but in terms of what she did, it is of that level.
Yeah.
When you saw her give her 4-minute and 17-second speech, I don't know if it was 17 seconds. What did you think?
It was 17 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the clip.
I was like, good for you. What did you think?
I think when you're professional, you can still get to your breaking point of like, I'm tired of being that. I'm tired of taking like the political route, the nice route, the formal route. Now we actually need to push the needle and get things to work. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And these are the facts. And I think Fee is at that point, and we're all at that point. We're tired of having to go back and forth with the CBA, because to me, it just shows like clearly there's not a want to see the players and value the players and to invest in the players when we are the product. How else do you make this go without us? So to not even to, the proposal at the beginning was ludicrous, but now we're asking you just to, what's the compromise here? And there's no togetherness. That to me is just like, now it's giving that you're just trying to have a protection of what y'all have, instead of knowing like we're the reason why you have what you have. And I know we addressed Kathy, but it's along with all these owners for these teams. Like, you guys have to invest. We showed you this is a very valuable product, and we've taken so much less for so long. We're not at that point anymore, and we're definitely not going to let this happen with this CBA, because it's going to be so transformative. And the fact that we're even like discussing a lockout it's ridiculous to me. We know what we deserve, and I just think the lack of cooperation has been frustrating from all parts.
Do you think her statements came from, one, the officiating, but two, also how the CBA negotiations are going?
Yeah, I mean, with her injury, one, you saw Cheryl crash out when your star player goes out like that. And we all know AT's a very physical player too, so I don't think it was anything intentional. It wasn't
malicious.
It was, exactly. It was a play for the ball, but just, I think it's not about that play, but probably the plays before that led up to that frustration that oftentimes I think players and coaches can get to, like, again, their breaking point with referees. And I think more players and coaches will be okay with what's being called if there was more of a relationship between these refs and the players. And
is there no relationship?
I mean, you have some that's been in the game for a couple years, so, you know, just naturally you start to know each other. But a lot of these refs could come into the league and they don't know anything about us. Who knows what league they're coming from the training? Is it G League, college? We don't know, but they don't know us as players. So I think that kind of helps them be able to understand who we are. And sometimes the calls that they make, it's just like, you don't know how this player plays, or you don't know who this is. I don't know how to explain it better than that, but I wish there was more of like a relationship that would be built with the coaches and the players to the referees.
Do you think the referees, from my understanding, they're part-time? They're not full-time referees because of the truncated season, right? So they can't be full-time. They have other...
They have to go to other leagues. I see these referees in AU as well. And I've had a ref I've had her for years, and she almost fouled me out of the game in AU. I was like, this is insane. You know who I am. You know the type of player that I am. So to call these fouls on me, and I do this in the league, and I never get called. And I think that's also the issue too, the inconsistency of the type of calls that are being played. And I'm gonna also touch on the idea of, why is playoff officiating different than regular season officiating? Because there's just, I don't know what to expect going into every game. And sometimes, you know, players can see a certain ref calling a game and it's like, oh God, it's gonna be a long night tonight. It shouldn't be that way. If there's like a set of rules and how things should be called, why are players so frustrated when certain refs get certain games?
And that's in the NBA, that's across certain leagues. They understand who those players are. Chris Paul had an infamous back and forth with. So let me ask you this. I hate comparing the NBA to the WNBA, so I try not to do that. But what you just said, I have a few questions. I'll hear somebody say these referees are part-time because of the truncated season, but these referees have a good percentage on getting most of the calls right. According to Fee, Kathy Engelbert said the only people who complain about the refs are the losers. That's just not true, right?
No.
That's not a fair statement?
No,
is it?
I think, I'm not going to speak for Kathy, but I think her point could have been like, you don't want to point the finger. We don't want to point the finger and say it's the referee's fault, because we know they're doing their best. What's going on? I think the wording and the verbiage of that is crazy. To say anybody that has a thought or comment about a ref are losers. Like, I don't understand that. So I'm understanding why Fee was so frustrated with that comment. But I think it's about hearing the players. If this has been a constant,
or at least pretending, like, because you don't even, because at least pretend like you care. Because I feel like the commissioner of the WNBA, her responses are so tone deaf.
They're very, I could see that. And
like, she went on the CNBC and they're asking her about racism and what's going on with Caitlyn versus Angel, and she's like, we have a good business. And we're like,
we saw that as well.
And I can say that because I'm like, wait, that's not, you didn't answer the question. And the same thing with her response to what Fee said.
To Fee, I said the same thing.
Is it that you all don't feel seen and heard?
I mean, I could say that's probably a consistent comment made towards her, and I hate that, because we are a league of women, and women that actually uplift each other and like really encourage each other, and she's the head of the ship. And I know that Kathy has came in probably into the W looking at it in a business aspect, like, how do I continue to build this? And she's bringing in, X, Y, Z, but you have star players in general, but star players wanting that relationship from you and feeling like that's not a priority for me. And I would hope that she sees that and kind of reflects on her own. While also, I know there's a lot of jobs to have to do this every day and to be the W commissioner. So I'm not saying her job is easy either. I just think if you hear your players kind of wanting that relationship and wanting to hear and that care and concern, like, pour into them and do that.
There's a train of thought that because I have been there through the commissioners before, she's, to me, has seemed the most impactful in terms of the business aspect of it.
She's very business savvy.
Yeah, right. She is business savvy. Yeah. I will say that about her. But is it the fact that she needs to feel a little more relatable in a league that is very diverse?
Very diverse.
And she doesn't feel relatable. Is that the issue?
I think it is.
This white woman feels like she's all about business. I'm saying that. She's not saying that. I'm saying that. And it doesn't, in a league where 70% of the women are Black and or LGBTQIA, and you don't feel like you understand my real humanity. That's what I'm talking about.
I think she also, I think there's also might be the separation from like the league to the business side. I don't feel like I've ever felt like super connected with her, and that's just not how I feel. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. Sure. And I've never kind of felt that way with our past commissioners. And I think that's what people just want out of her, that connection. And I think that's a huge part of being a leader is, establishing those relationships and cultivating those. And like I said, if you hear Fee speaking about it, you just have to know how the last person on the team might feel, right? Like, from top to bottom, this is a constant concern. And I think that would be something that she should look into, because I think it would make a difference into not only the CBA negotiations, but just her future in the W.
Yeah, I think Fee was like, no Vaseline, hit him up. Every Ether song you can think of. She was Ether, literally. And it was like, I got enough money to take whatever fine this is. And in fact, I've created something that the players seem to enjoy. Y'all can do it too. If me and my husband.
Because you listen to the players. It's a player-led league. And I think that's why Unrivaled and AU do so well. Yeah. We are the players making these changes and day-to-day decisions on what should be added, what do we need, and it does well, and the fans seem to respond. So again, you just hope that it doesn't come from like arrogance, that they don't see these things happening and like not act on that. And I think she has one of the easiest jobs. Just listen to the players. Just listen to what we're saying, and then let's go from there. So from the referee standpoint, I don't know what all can go into that. Maybe more training, maybe keeping the same refs in the league longer, pulling different refs from, I don't know what could go with that. But I think with these new CBA negotiations, I do believe that she just has to come to a real conversation with us and these owners about how can we mutually go forward together. And it's not a them versus they, it's a we thing.
Yeah.
And
do you feel like it's a we thing or is it a me thing? Meaning, I've heard players say it feels like it's about her. It doesn't feel like it's
I don't think this is a collaboration at all. Like, even just knowing the first deal that was offered to us, it was like, there's no way you think we're going to agree to this. So why do you value us like that? Like, why don't you think this is going to grow? And it just seems like there's not going to be understanding, and a lockout is very a high situation for a lockout to happen. And that's kind of, it's terrible because we're making so many like good moves in the W. We're making so much progress, and I would hate for that to be halted because we can't come on the same page. So it definitely doesn't feel like a team thing right now at all.
When Nafisa made those comments, I knew the CBA, but you all were in negotiations. And in my mind, I was like, she's like, now or never.
Now or never. I feel the exact same way because there's so much change that we can have in the CBA that we've never had before. And just the benefits that we can have as players that we've seen other leagues have for so long. And like you said, I don't want to compare our league to other leagues. I hate doing that as well. But you take notes. And we have advisors of other leagues helping us with the CBA. And they're like, these are the things you guys have to ask for. So we have the knowledge now, and obviously we have the power as well, because you can't get there without us. So like, what are we going to do? You know,
the leverage. What do you say to the folks who say you guys just started getting popular, which isn't true? So why walk away now? It's not smart. Why? What do you say to people who say that? The people who have just started to watch the WNBA, who didn't know that, as your purse said, we always been popping.
Yes, absolutely. I think to say to those people, it's like you said, they're new fans. You don't know the history of this league and how fruitful it's been. We might not have been able to be covered by TVs, and that's because of their lack of seeing how we're valued in our purpose. But this product and the talent and these players have been along for a long time before me, and they're going to be here after me. So you have to pour into this now. And I get it that we've had players pop off like in the past 2 or 3 years, like a lot of these rookies coming in, just kind of changing the game. And we love it, but they also know that they wouldn't be here either without the players that came before them. So clearly they don't know their history, and you guys think we're going to step away, but we know our value. And if we have to step away to show you guys that, then that's what's going to happen.
All the things that I have been saying, I'm so glad. Yes, I hope you know your value. I think it's really interesting how women are socialized and how the world deals with women. I think that's the biggest problem with the WNBA. They don't value you as an athlete first. They value you as a woman. Yeah. And so you have to always battle that. I'm really curious. Today, there were Caitlin Clark on her exit interview said she stood with Fee. She understood what Fee was saying. Yeah. She sidestepped the question about, I believe, in my opinion, about Kathy Engelbert. But when you think about Caitlin Clark, and people have this, and I'm constantly defending the women of the league because I hate how they say they're jealous. I also feel like, so what if we don't like you? No one is questioning whether or not Michael Jordan likes Isaiah Thomas. Nobody questioning whether Magic fooled with Isaiah anymore. Yeah. Like, if he didn't, he just didn't. Yeah. LeBron maybe didn't like Steph for a hot minute when Steph was the guy. Who cares? That's a part of the game.
It's a part of the game.
It's just a part of the game. And I respect you if you say you don't like somebody. I don't like everybody I work with, quote unquote, colleagues.
Look, it's hard.
We just don't vibe. It's fine though. It's fine. You
can stay there and I'll be over here.
And I'm gonna stay right here. Yeah. And I think more and more, and the media is at fault at this too, the more and more that we try to defend you all and also defend Caitlin at the same time, I think we realize that maybe we don't like certain aspects of her game, and that too is okay. Do you feel like there is a Caitlin versus the WNBA or the players of the WNBA? Do you feel like there is this conversation, or is that starting to settle, especially since she missed most of the season?
I mean, I could take it back even to my time in Chicago last year with Angel and Caitlin, and it just was like, are we even here to play basketball anymore? Because the narratives that I would see every single day about those two, it was draining. You couldn't even focus on the game anymore. And again, I've never seen anything like that during my time in the W. So I'm like, I get people do the drama and the clickbait thingies, but it was turning into like having effects on like people in real time. So I don't know much about Kaylin. We've never really been in the same room, but I just know Angel that was probably frustrating for her.
Of course.
And it started in college. And I went to that national championship game, and for the two of them to handle that much pressure and insults every single day, it's like draining. It's absolutely draining. But at the same time, there's going to be Caitlin defenders and Angel defenders, and they're going at everybody when it's like they're not even in the same position.
Like, it's not a battle.
What are we talking about?
Well,
I think Caitlin can be great just like Angel can be great.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just kind of tired of the conversation. So unfortunately, like, Caitlin couldn't play this year, and I don't know if it died down because of that, but I know that conversation isn't going anywhere at all. I kind of just let it be, because it happens in sports. It happens in sports, and I think oftentimes in women's sports, we are usually closer to each other. So when it happens, it's like, this isn't like our league, but we're also growing in viewership. So people are going to make little fan bases like that, and it is what it is. Now, I feel like a part of that came along with cyberbullying.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know it's affected me at a point, teammates in general. And I think that is the conversation that should be had, because it's like, we have nothing to do with this rivalry. Like, that's not on us. I think there should be more of a protection to protect players in those situations. And there wasn't necessarily anything like that available. So I think that's something that the league should continue to invest in. But yeah, I just wish they would just let us play and leave us out the pettiness. It's like, I'm over it.
I think this year was interesting because she didn't play, to your point, at least not most of the year. And I think that it showed a lot of different things. That the WNBA is still very successful and still thriving. Whether they needed her and Angel and the perceived rivalry to bring the eyes,
right?
It's still as intense. It's still as amazing. Watching Game 5 with the Aces.
They came down to the wire with the Aces. I was
like, I can't go to bed now. Like, we up all night.
I wanted to watch the game. And then you see players like Odyssey Sims and like,
oh my God,
Shea Petty, and just...
You get to see the greats.
You get to see the greats. And I think has been struggling to get in and out the league for a while, but she definitely solidified herself. But I've seen this every single year in Athletes Unlimited. Like, comes to compete. She can score. It's hard to stop that left-handed drive. Like, the girl's talented. And I'm just so happy that she had a huge platform like this to finally show it. And just... Yeah, there's players out there that still know how to play. They might be ducked off and tucked away in the roster, but they could still play given the opportunity.
Yeah, that was special. Actually, really good for you. Do you believe that rivalry or the perceived rivalry, even though they didn't have the same position, helped the league
grow? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, even in Chicago, we didn't have the best facilities. Like, that was very known. I think just the attention and the eyes that Angel brought to Chicago was huge. Like, there were so many fans, so many people just supporting Chicago. And obviously it was a successful organization when Candace was there. She brought a championship. But just like the investment and like the constant love from the fans, I feel like I felt that a lot last year in Chicago playing there. And just the partnerships, we were having like deals thrown at the team left and right, because obviously she was a part of it. So it was pretty cool to see that investment into the tein. Yeah. There's
some benefit from I have said this, and I don't know if players agree. I love a rivalry, a perceived rivalry, a made up rivalry. I'm media. I love it. I love the fact, because it drives storylines and it brings in characters that we haven't paid attention to before.
Agreed.
But you guys are 100% humans. But to me, it was all good at the end of the day, because I was like, good, people are paying attention.
Yeah.
I remember interviewing Candace when I was on SportsCenter, and she was like, she didn't want to tell the stories because she felt like she couldn't. And now here we fast forward to Phoebe being like, so I have a prepared statement. And I'm all like, we've arrived.
Yeah.
We've arrived. And by that, I mean, I've been celebrating you all forever, and we've arrived. With that being said, I think that the way in which you have handled yourself, you are an example of more people across the board in terms of athletes. Like, you have really handled yourself with so much grace and class.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that had something to do with being raised with several other,
For
a small little army of brothers and sisters, and a really good mom and dad, and who supported you. And you were the best of what people should be, like in terms of humans. And I wish you nothing but the best, but I appreciate your voice and how candid you've been.
Thank you.
And the way in which you carry yourself isn't like I'm shitting on anybody, but it's like, here's the story.
Here's the story.
Here
and
are
I
the
think
facts.
oftentimes teams kind of silence your voice because it's a protection of themselves, but it's also like, we don't need to let everybody know what's going on with us.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the only time you can call for change.
That's
so
the
I
only
understand
time.
why Candace didn't want to speak about it.
I get it.
understand why players in the past didn't, because it's like, you want to protect the people that you go to work with every day. But at a certain point, you have to advocate for yourself and what you deserve. So that's what Fee did.
And it takes a certain personality. You got to be set up a certain way. All the things happen. It has to, everything just, the stars need to align for it to happen. I understand that.
Yeah.
Isabelle, it's been a pleasure. You have a Lupus walk on October 4th. So by the time this airs, which is on Monday, the walk has already happened. Tell me about your dedication to lupus.
Yeah, my family has a long history with like autoimmune illnesses. And my sister, she actually passed away from lupus complications, in 2017. And, you know, I kind of wanted to partner with the organization that really just saw me and poured into me. And I also have 2 other siblings that deal with lupus. So right now, we're still in the process of finding my brother a kidney donor. My other sister kind of has like her ups and downs with it. So I just wanted to like bring it to a platform that is like seen and understood. And I didn't know how much it affected the African-American community. I had no idea. I thought it was just my family, but I've gotten so many messages from just people from all over, just giving me their story and like what they done to deal with it, and their doctors and rheumatologists, like donation sites that, you know, I wasn't aware of. So really giving lupus this platform to kind of blossom into what it is, the Lupus Foundation. They've just supported me for like the past 4 years now. So we're gonna do a walk together in New York. It's gonna be early, bright and early.
What time?
We start at 9:30.
Okay.
And we're gonna do the walk. We're gonna bring all the doggies. The dogs are welcome. And me and Tasha are gonna be there, and we're gonna have our shirts and kind of just to do something for the city, and all the Liberty fans know about it. They've been talking about it like crazy. So I'm excited for it.
Good for you. So that's where you live. That's where you're trying to just bring more attention and awareness. And is that for more, to raise money for more awareness, to raise money for a cure? Or
I think awareness is big for me, and I think that's when it starts to drive into the dollars for cures. And I think just, I was with my brother in Indiana for WNBA All-Star because it was there, and I wanted to go and support Tosh with her All-Star appearance. And I was in the hospital with him, and the amount of times that we had to be on the doctor's asses about just getting what he needed. And like, there was no answers as to what was happening with him. And with autoimmune, it could be literally anything. So like, sending him to a hospital that has specialists, that's very important. Listening to like his caregivers and what they can do, and like just to help him. Like, there was just that relationship between doctor and patient is very, very limited. And it's only until you advocate for your family and you just really press hard on what you want in this healthcare system, that's the only way that you get help. And I just hate to see my brother struggle like that. So yeah,
I love you for that.
Thank you. He's still having like his complications, and I hate that for him because he just wants to live like his best life, one of the best athletes in the family, because we're all athletes, all of my siblings. So I just always wanted him to be able to live his hoop dreams. But I think he just supports me in the meantime, and because of that. And I just want him to have a healthy life. Amen. That's all I want.
Amen. Well, here's to the Lupus Walk. I hope you raise awareness. I hope you guys support even beyond the walk.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being so open and honest. I feel like this was superb. I was like, you came to play. This was great.
Thank you.
I loved it.
I love being here, and I love seeing you on every platform. You come across my screen, I was like, she's such a baddie.
That's what I say about you. I'm like, give me all the beauty secrets. We're going to get a drink after this. I'm going to get all the beauty secrets.
You got it.
Isabelle Harrison on Naked Sports. Thank you.
Thank you.
There has been so much news this past week with the WNBA, and I'm really excited about the idea that women are speaking up for what they want in a league that for so long, at least in my opinion, has not valued them. We are at a very pivotal point in women's sports. And what I mean by that is if these women are finding their voices, understanding their value, things are bound to change. And it's not just for sports, it's for a community, it's for a collective worldwide. I think that their shared experiences and frustrations can be talked about with any particular industry. I don't care if you are a hairstylist or a broadcast journalist or a dog walker. There are things in which only women can talk about it in a way that women can talk about it. There's just shared understanding of wanting to be seen and heard. And I'm so grateful that Isabelle Harrison, y'all call her Izzy, y'all, came on the podcast today to talk about her experience in the W and life outside the W. I encourage you to support the WNBA, the New York Liberty, if that's your team. I just happen to be in New York, or any team nearby. But pay attention to what's going on, because it really is going to set the foundation for generations to come. Again, we appreciate y'all for listening to Naked Sports. We'll be back next week.